Today we've got a little bit of a project, kind of a homemade mod, if you will. I have this problem. I have a new camera, that camera, and I don't have a way, a convenient way to affix it in the Jeep or even the Tacoma or any other vehicle that I have my magnetic holder in when I want to drive around and film and stuff. What I'm talking about, I made this kind of homemade-ish kind of holder in here. You guys can see right there. This is a magnetic base. And what I usually do when I'm using my iPhone is I'll go ahead and stick it up there like that. It works really well and it's really strong. You see there's a plate on the back of the iPhone. But for this new camera, it doesn't work so well because I can't put a base on the back because there's a screen on the back. So my thinking is to make a bracket and attach the stuff for the camera. It's this little holder, you know, that slips into a clip. It's actually in the clip right now. And then this would be attached to the holder I'm going to make with an adhesive pad that actually comes with the accessory there, I guess. So what I've done, I bought myself a piece of metal, I guess, that is magnetic or that will stick to a magnet. You got to make sure you don't get anything that's aluminum, obviously. And I'm going to cut a strip out of it and hopefully bend it in such a way that I can attach it and the camera to it. Now, how I'm going to attempt to cut this, and we'll see if it works, I bought these gigantic snips, cutters, at Lowe's. And I'm hoping they're robust enough to cut through this. This is a pretty thin gauge. It is, let's see, it's a 22 gauge. I don't know if you can see right there. But let's give it a try and see if I can actually cut through it. I'll set you guys up here and you can watch the carnage. Hopefully there is no carnage. So let's see what I'm going to do. And I'm not sure what the best way to do this is. I think we'll do it this way. We'll try it. I'm going to try to cut along the line. I may have to do this a different way. I'm not quite sure, but here we go. Let's give it a try. This is an attempt. Hopefully it isn't a fail. And I can tell already that, oh, actually, that's not too bad. Of course, I run into the snips there, so now how do I cut any further? That's a bit of the problem, I think. I don't really want to bend up my material in case I need to snip it some more. It's as far as I can cut, sticking it in, and it's not quite halfway. So I'm still gonna attempt to cut it from the other direction. Let's see. Maybe I can get close. Okay. All right, I've made it this far, all the way to there. So I need to get this piece in here and I may have to bend it a little bit. Here we go. Awesome. So I have my piece. It's a little bent, but that's okay, not bad. Now I'm going to take a file and file off this edge because I really don't want to cut up my hand doing this. All right. That's about it. Now I need to bend this. And I want to try to bend it kind of in the middle. And I'm going to use a vise for that. I happen to have a vise right here. So what I'm going to attempt to do is stick this down in the vise. And I probably should draw a line. So I'm going to put a line across it so it's at least even. And then all right, got my line drawn across there. And I'm just going to try to line that up on the vise just to make sure I get a good even bend is my plan anyway. Like so. Now I'm going to grab a pair of gloves for this, I think. And I'll probably whip out a hammer or something to pound it. Maybe I won't need it. Something about like that. I am going to hit it with a hammer there a bit. what I've ended up with. Yeah, something just like this. And the idea is it's going to fit on that holder, something like this. This will go against the magnet, and then the camera will mount here, so it can sit up there like that. Very simple idea, really. So I need to test, make sure I've got the right height, I guess. Let's bring you guys with me. You can take a look. You'll get an idea of what the heck it is I'm doing. And I'm going to want it to be something like that. Now, that's actually pretty high up in the air, and it sticks really well. Wow, which is good. That's what I want. Let's move it down a little bit just to get a good view. Yeah, something like that, and then the camera would probably sit up above something like that, and let's turn it around, we can get an idea. And it would face me something like that right there, which actually would be perfect for angle and view. So I think I'm going to shorten this part of it here a little bit. It doesn't need to be that long, doesn't need to stick out this far. I'm going to shorten it to just where it needs to be, which means I got to whip out the snips again. All right, we've got it all cleaned up. I did go ahead and stick the adhesive pad on the back of the holder. So now you just have to stick it to the bracket and then give it a test run. There we go. Now I want to make sure I get it on the right way, and that's going to be this way, I believe. So I'm trying to get it even on here for the most part. I mean, is it going to be perfect? Probably not. But I will say this stuff is very sticky, so once you make a decision and go, you are there. And I've made my decision, and it's definitely not perfect. But it is on. So now I just need to hold it down on there for a couple of minutes. You can see I'm a little bit off on the edge. It's not exactly perfect, but like I said, it shouldn't matter. And this part is the part that just pulls out. So the bracket here will stay on. All right, we are inside. I've got my bracket. Let's go ahead and mount the GoPro. It's going to go on just like this, and it's a little bit heavy. I don't know if it's heavier than my phone. Maybe not. Maybe about the same. But here we go. It's going to go on like that, and then I can adjust, and man, it does fit tightly. Let's go ahead and fire up the GoPro. I want to see what my look is going to be, I guess. And it looks like it's going to be just like that. Now, that is pretty obtrusive when it comes to seeing out of the window. You guys can see where it is across here. I mean, it does block this area, but I still have all of that area and all of that area to see. I can actually mount it a little bit lower. Let's check that. Good time to see how easily it comes off of here now. I could mount it more like that. That puts it down a little bit lower. And I suppose, I guess if I really wanted to, could mount it more like that, or I could probably get away with having it like that. That gives me a little bit better look out of the front. And you guys might be able to see, hopefully, you can see right here is where I am. So it'll give me a good angle, I guess, for shooting video. It's actually perfect. Now, there is one other thing I could do. I do have this ball up here. Not a lot of space between the windshield and the ball. But I could mount the camera there with one of those grabber things. I don't happen to have one at the moment. But I could pursue that too if I needed. Obviously, the magnetic base is still valid for the camera itself. But let me switch over to the GoPro. You guys can see what the angle would be on there. All right, you guys are actually on the GoPro, mounted to the Jeep right now. Again, I can use this in the Jeep or the Tacoma, actually. And it's going to be a pretty good picture, I think, or a good angle, I should say. The picture, well, you know, I am what I am. Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to kind of bring you guys along with me as I create this pretty darn simple holder for the GoPro. I think it's going to work out pretty well. I don't really think there's any big issue with visibility. You just have to pay attention to the road, which you should be doing anyway. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my little contraption here. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.